What's going on in Hot Atlanta? Live from Swanky 93.3 and the Heat 94.6 brings back the hottest hip-hop radio show live from K.L.P Entertainment and K.L.P Studios. It's K.L.P Aftermath Morning with your host, K.L.P Kennedy Lucas.
You know what it is? Put your hands up.
Tune in now on any audio platform. Go.
Yes, mic check, 1 2 1 2. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Yeah, buddy. Boy, howdy. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to the podcast here today. This is the K.L.P Aftermath Podcast. I'm your gracious, your holly favored, your blessful sports analyst too. You guys, if you guys know, you know. We hope that y'all checked out the Bro Code Podcast the last few days. We've been on it, but this is the K.L.P Aftermath Podcast, and I'm your gracious, humbled podcast host, K.L.P Kennedy Lucas here. Welcome. Yeah, buddy. All right. So, like I mentioned last week too, because a lot of people, they watched last week, and I'm doing it again for going forward. You notice how I haven't started off by playing music. A couple of weeks back when I did this podcast show and I played music, when it came down to our streaming networks on our platforms, we got flagged for playing a song that we didn't necessarily have the copyrights to, right? So they flagged us. We took it down. We had to be careful. We do have to be careful because I've said it last week, but I'll say it again this week. You have to be careful what kind of music you use for your podcast, simply because when you get flagged so many times, your channel does get taken down, and I do not want that because we've had so many shows on these two networks. We have so many content on these networks. We have so many all-time plays on these networks. So I have to be kind of careful when it comes down to it. So I apologize for a lot of people. We're just kind of not playing music at the beginning of the podcast anymore because you just have to be careful, right? And I'd rather not play music and get to the proceedings and keep the channel versus to defy the law and the rules and regulations and the policy of our distribution and get our stuff taken down. I'd rather not do it that way. But welcome to the podcast, K.L.P Aftermath Podcast. We hope that everybody's ready for another grand episode here today. Today is June 10th. Of course, it is a wonderful Tuesday night by the time you're watching the show. Let me tell y'all, we've been on some great stuff lately. Now, as you guys know, this week is the week. At the end of this week, K.L.P Entertainment and Studio will be in downtown Atlanta for the Battle of Atlanta World Karate Championship tourney. I am so stoked for that. I'm really excited for that thing there, T. Simply because it's something that I've never done before. There's something I've never been a part of before. And basically what it is, we are on the broadcast production side of the tournament. I've seen the photos and the promo, is given WWE here in Atlanta. That's what it's given. I get to be a part of it as a commercial producer. So I cannot wait to show you guys content because I will be filming some content. Of course, I'm partnered up with Meta when it comes down to it, and I'm able to use my Meta glasses and, of course, some music and some behind the scenes to capture in my eyes of what I see is what you guys are going to see for social media as well. So I cannot wait for that as well. That's going to be very, very cool to get. I'm stoked about it. It's going to be a long weekend. I would tell y'all it's going to be a very, very, very long weekend, but it's quite amazing when it comes down to it. Let me tell y'all, of course, what's been going on with K.L.P Entertainment. Then I'll give you guys the story. Of course, I do have some reviews here on the show. We will be talking about Raw. I will be talking about Tyler Perry's new movie, Straw. I will be talking about the Nintendo Switch review. I told you guys I was going to do it. The last podcast, K.L.P Aftermath Podcast, y'all saw was a strictly Nintendo Switch 2 unboxing. Last week, I didn't have a topic of conversation. I didn't have anything to talk about. It was solely about the Nintendo Switch 2 unboxing. Of course, I will give you guys my full review because I was able to play it the last 4 days. So I'm going to give you a full review here on the podcast as well. And by the terms of, or the name of this title of this podcast, this episode might be a little beefy this week, T, simply because I've got these reviews and I've got something that I want to kind of have a conversation with you guys about. It is kind of not too serious. It's not something so personal. It's just something that I've learned the last few days, and I think it'll be fitting to talk about it here on the podcast. But that's going to be the main event of this episode, so you got to stay tuned towards the end of this episode if you want to know what I'm talking about, because the title of this podcast is say, hey guys, we need to talk. It's nothing, no one, there's nothing wrong with me. My health is perfect, right? Everybody in my family members are healthy, right? So no one's sick, no one's dying. That's not what that conversation is about. It's a relationship kind of thing, but we'll get to it later. Now, we have a lot of things going on this week with K.L.P Entertainment. Like I say, shout out to our medical company of ProMed Consulting. Got to give them their shout out. Take your game to another level. Exposure, that is my uncle's company. Here's what's been going on that I am freely able to talk about, of course. I am going to have the video from the event out tomorrow on social media. So rest assured there will be some media coming out for that project. I was very, very excited in the office today, of course, in the building. When it came down to it, we've had a great group of student athletes who are trying to understand their athleticness in high school, getting ready for college, and hopefully going pro. That's something my uncle does on the side, and we were able to work very closely with the Shaquille O'Neal Foundation. I'm very, very excited for that because that's an organization that, number one, is Shaquille O'Neal, so he's everywhere, right? You see him on Papa John's, you see him on the Gold Bond commercials, you see him in the General, and now he is selling printers at Best Buy, the Epson printers, right? So Shaquille O'Neal is everywhere. And it feels good that we can associate ourselves with the Shaquille O'Neal Foundation because they had a representative come out and gift this one of the young man. He had a size 15 wide, a size 15 shoe wide with one of the young men, and the Shaquille O'Neal Foundation helped out with like 3 pairs of shoes and some gear. That's really, really nice because a 15 wide shoe that is very hard to find in stores, that's kind of like a custom made shoe that you had to get custom made. Big boy too, and not in a bean way, but he's a big guy, right? He's an athlete. So it felt really, really good to say that we were able to help them out, and working closely with other medical companies around in our aura is very, very fantastic. I am so stoic for that part. I get excited when there's a foundation involved, especially the Shaq Foundation that's involved, and to see that K.L.P Entertainment has something to do with it. Of course, we were filming and giving our content out there as well. You'll see it tomorrow, guys, I promise. But to share it with the leader of the foundation, the representative with the foundation, and other partners of ours is quite amazing. Because a lot of people did ask me what was going on that day. I think it was like I posted it on last Friday. I think it was last Friday when we posted it, and a lot of people, close friends of mine, they asked me, "Oh snap, Kennedy, what you got going? What you got cooking up?" I got that cooking up as well. So it's just it's quite amazing, and just to see that we're making a great impact for these young students, these young kids, is quite amazing, and I can't express it that much more. How much that young man was so happy to get the shoes and the gear. They had a card from Shaquille O'Neal. They gave him a one-of-one replica, not a replica, but like official coin. One side says Shaq and Shaq's label logo on it, and then the other side says Reebok. Obviously, Shaquille O'Neal is a big owner of Reebok, so very, very cool to see. I can't wait to see the future of the foundation and our foundations, because yes, I am a part of quite a few foundations as well. Very, very stoic. I'm very, very excited for that. We're also part of another foundation. I can't say too much about it because it is, and I'll post this again tomorrow, the picture of our meeting. This other thing I'm working on, guys, is something that I signed an NDA for. You know it's big when you sign an NDA for something. Just know that it's going to be very fantastic. Fantastic is going to be huge when it comes out later on this year. I can say it has something to do with filming. I am filming something. I just can't tell you what it is, right? Because that's that NDA. But I am filming something for a new movie, and it's going to be very, very exciting. So I tell you guys, stay tuned later on for that as well. Lucas Brothers Pictures on his way out. Undercover's on his way out. Influencer City's doing really, really amazing. So I just got to say thank y'all so very much. And also one more thing, and I'll get to the topics of conversations here today. This Thursday and Friday, June 12th, midnight after June 12th and June 13th, my new album does get released. Meet me in Miami. Meet Me in Miami, y'all. That's the new one. Meet Me in Miami is a new album for me and Swinky Aura. Let me tell you, that album has been fantastic. I had some people come up from Miami. We were supposed to do a whole promo in Miami next month, but we had some plans change up on us, which is okay. You know, health is wealth. But we had them come up. We finished the album. It's very, 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 very exciting. I hope you guys enjoy this album because this is more of my Miami summer love, summer breeze type album. I've done an album like this before, but it feels good to say that I am coming back with new music and I'm bringing more of a summer vibe to this album this time around. I'm so excited for you guys to listen to it. If you know, you know. If you listen to Soft Guy Season, if you listen to Strange Sexy Cool, you know this album is going to be a banger. Very, very excited for sure. And also, we'll have a link description to do at the bottom here, T, simply because I am in a competition along with Swinky Records LLC. We are in a competition with the Global Citizens Festival. Guys, let me tell you, I am still in first place. Hallelujah, by the grace of God. By the grace of God, I'm still in first place. I made the top 20. I do believe they're going to do the top 20, top 15, top 10, top 5, and number 1, right? So it's a long contest that I am in. But guys, let me tell you a little bit of what's going on. Again, it's no secret because when you go on my splash page to vote, it's the information's there, what I'm running for. I'm running for a cover and appearing of Rolling Stone. That's really big now. I am trying to get the cover of Rolling Stone. I'm trying to perform at the Global Citizens Festival this fall, and I'm trying to win that $50,000. I am. It's a competition. Boy, howdy. I'm making it work, guys. I am making this thing work. So again, for everybody who has social media, you can get in one free vote. You know, a free vote is free. If you love me, if you really love me, you can get multiple votes. You do have to pay for some of the votes. I think the highest was $250 and you get, 50 votes, I think, if I'm not mistaken. So you have to pay for more votes for me. If you love me and you know how dope I am, go ahead and make that investment for me for the vote, but you can get that free vote if you're wanting to vote for free. Look, it's quite amazing that I'm still in the top 1. I'm number 1 in my group. I work really, really hard on our music, Swinky Records, me, Swinky Aura. I mean, my fellas from Swinky Aura, Monica Gray, Sky Love, you know, those artists of mine, they come in clutch and they just love working with me. They love doing what we want to do with when it comes down to this music thing. And to see this is kind of my redemption with music because me and Swanky Aura, believe it or not, we had albums before our current albums, right? But our old distro deleted them all. And we made the dummy mistake of a new record label. We didn't archive none of the old music. So they're just floating out there and they're gone. So for us to revamp and to know to archive our music next time and to look at a good distribution channel that just have our best interests at heart is quite amazing. And Swinky Aura, you know, we broke up right after that happened. Our group broke up, right? They said, Kennedy, this screwed us. I don't want to do this no more. But then, you know, they had a change of heart. They came back to the table and, you know, we revamped some things. So like I say, I'm in competition, a long contest right now, but I think it's going to be worth a sweet reward if I come up on top. What I plan to do with the money, obviously, I plan to do a lot of things with the money. I plan to invest in artists who are hungry. I do want to help my mom more because my mom's been helping me a lot with a lot of things. I do want to help her out a little bit more if I had the 50 grand. I also do want to give a little bit back to the community, whatever community that I'm in, I'm wanting to give back. But also, I do want to invest in my own future, my movies, and my more music and investment for my businesses as well. So that's what I would do to the $50,000. We are partnered with YMCA in South Fulton, if I'm not mistaken, with that facility too. We had our medical company did a sponsored event a couple of months back. It was the Family and Kids Day, and we were able to give back that way. So I would give back more to the YMCA's more because there are a lot of parents, young parents as well. I think I see more of young parents, T, than I do older parents, but I see a lot of young parents who are struggling right now. And by the grace of God, I thank God each and every day we don't have to really struggle like that. But I see a lot of young kids and young families and young parents who are probably my age, because I'm 29, my age, who have kids and they're struggling because things are high right now. Things are more expensive right now. Gas is up, groceries is up, everything is high for the young parents. A lot of, and I'll say a lot of my friends, maybe not my close circle, but a lot of my outer friends, they have kids, right? And they are struggling and they have to sign in 9 to 5. They have to punch somebody else's time clock just to get the very little that they get for the amount of work that they do, right? So I would give some back from that $50,000 to the families in need, that is in dire need, right? Who is struggling. And it's not going to get any better, right? I don't want to be a Debbie Downer because I have some good news too, but it's not going to get any better here in America. It's going to get more expensive as we go within the years. So I just got to say that. But like I say, that's what I would do with the $50,000. Again, like I say, guys, vote for me. That's all I got to say. Vote for me. It is out there for sure. A couple of announcements before I get to it too, because I do want to announce it. Now, What Happened Was podcast with me and Evelyn. Shout out to that show. It is coming back, I promise. Evelyn, she's in a movie, right? And her movie actually sold out 2 nights, both of the 2 nights. So, Evelyn, if you're watching this show, congratulations to you, babe. I love that you're doing it. I love that you are winning, and in the movie that you're screening and sold out. I can't wait until it comes. I need to see where can I see it. Hopefully, it comes to streaming networks as well, because I think Evelyn needs her flowers. But our show, What Happened Was podcast, is coming back. She's just been booked and busy. I've been booked and busy. So it is what it is. We get busy. And towards the end, so I do want to say the 21st through the 28th, K.L.P Entertainment will be closed. I'm going to say that on every show so that way people know. I got to give my folks a break. I've got to give K.L.P Entertainment staff members a break. I got to give them their vacation time. I am planning vacation time. I'm going to Punta Cana for that week. So I said, guys, we are shutting it all down that week. Everybody enjoy your vacation. You get this bonus, enjoy the vacation, you do your thing. We'll be back fresh and early in July, right? So I do have to say that just for context and for people to understand that I will be taking that vacation time off. Now, before I get to the movie review and show review, I am going to talk about the Nintendo Switch 2. Shout out to Nintendo. If you know, you know. So yeah, the Nintendo Switch 2 is here. Of course, I would tell you guys my full story. Let me tell you, this podcast is going to be a little beefy this week because I got a lot of things to talk about. I hopefully everybody's able to get it at a good price. I have it on my computer right now, and I don't know how accurate this is, but this is what came up on the website when I just typed in the Nintendo Switch 2. Walmart has the 2 bundles, the Mario Kart bundle, for $839.99. That's scalping, not from Walmart. I don't know how lucrative this is, but guys, don't pay $800 for a Switch 2. It is not worth that much. It is, I gotta say, I think the Switch 2 is reasonably priced. I gotta say it. I played the Switch 2 the last 4 days, and it has been a fun experience. I was able to play Mario Kart with a couple of friends of mine, right, within the last few days. Mario Kart World, although it sucks that it was $80. Now, obviously, I said this last time in the Unboxing Video podcast. If you were smart enough to know, I didn't pay $80 for Mario Kart. I paid $50 for Mario Kart because I had got the bundle. Some people didn't do that. Some people swerved up and ate that cost of $80 for Mario Kart World. Hey, that's your prerogative. I just got the bundle because I'm paying the game. That the game was essentially $50, right? So, Nintendo Switch 2. Let me give you guys the whole outlook of how my Switch 2 release day was first. So, it was Wednesday night. I'm watching a whole bunch of YouTube channels, right? I've been watching, who did I watch? I watched Jake Randall's live stream. I've watched Nintendo Prime's live stream. I've watched, who else? Beat 'em Ups, Wood. I seen his channel. He was doing a live stream. I think I was watching Beat 'em Ups live stream the most because I actually do enjoy the guy. I hate that his Nintendo podcast and him and Wolf Den, they kind of broke that off. I know that's been about a year now, but that kind of sucks because they have two of them, two Wood and Bob. They have great chemistry, but I get it. It's to podcast. It takes a lot, right? So I was watching Beat 'Em Up's channel the most when it come down to the Switch 2 launch day because I think he had a good live stream. It sucks him because Ham from Ham and Cheddar, one of the producers for Beat 'Em Ups on the podcast, he's also leaving the podcast as well. So it just sucks. If Wood was here in Atlanta, I would help him produce his podcast, but he is in Philly or Pennsylvania. We're down here in South Georgia, so it won't work. But I was watching a lot of live streams. I watched a lot of people unbox their Nintendo Switch early, and I even seen smaller channels who got the Switch 3 days early. God rest your soul, and I'm joking, but it's kind of scary because I do believe in the ninjas of Nintendo. I do believe that they have a way for you if they can tell if you unboxed your thing early when you're not supposed to, and they might have broke your Switch too. I believe in that because Nintendo is damn near $1 billion company, right? So I believe it. I do. So when it came down to it, I'm watching live streams and I'm doing my thing and I'm up and I could barely sleep. I'll be honest. I could barely sleep because I ordered my Nintendo Switch 2 bundle from Walmart, right? So I'm dazing off to sleep, right? But I could barely sleep because I'm thinking about, okay, Walmart's gonna deliver my console by 9 a.m., right? But on my email it says it's gonna be delivered by 10 p.m. So I'm like, damn, I can't do all the things I need to do because the studio has to be ready right then and there. When I get the Switch to the studio, I have to get this thing unboxed and recorded for y'all, right? So I'm going to sleep and I wake up mad early, right? I went to bed at 2. I woke up at 7. I don't recommend people doing that. That is nearly not enough sleep. I just couldn't sleep because it was Nintendo Switch launch day. So could barely sleep. And I already knew because at first I've had some rough experiences with a new console. Not so much a whole lot of new consoles because when I had got my Xbox back in 2016, I went to the store and got it, right? When I went to get the Nintendo Switch, the very first one, I went to the store and got it, right? When I went to get my PlayStation 4, when Spider-Man came out, I went and just got it, right? The only rough experience so far from a new console was my PlayStation 5. Because at the time, I had a job where I had to punch in 9 to 5. Not typically 9 to 5. It was like 2 to 10, right? It was that type of job, right? So I had to like budget that out and save some time, right? And my PlayStation 5, to which I ordered from Best Buy, FedEx was delivering it, and FedEx was just a whole shit show. It was a whole shit show because, number one, just imagine your PlayStation 5 is out there on a truck somewhere, and then they lied and said they tried to deliver it, but no one was home. But I was home, and I have a Ring camera. So, and I've checked the Ring camera, and I had to submit it to FedEx. They didn't really do much about it, obviously. But I checked the Ring cameras, like no one came by at this time. You're lying, right? So, and what was the thing about it? It's not PlayStation. It's not about the PlayStation 5, but I had to pay FedEx for them to deliver it at the warehouse for me to just come and get it personally, right? A lot of bullshit that happened with that. Ended up going to the FedEx warehouse center. I had to get my PlayStation 5. People were scrambling to find my package because I couldn't find it at first. I was panicking. But long story short, I got my PlayStation 5. That was a whole shit show. We're talking about the Nintendo Switch 2. And first, I got to get this air horn tee to Walmart. I do. Now, I get it. We are boycotting Walmart and Target, right? They're trying to eliminate the DEI programs for those two mega stores, right? I get it. I understand. I barely go to Walmart unless it's something that I can't get at Kroger, or it's a certain type of technology thing that I need that I can only get at Walmart. Then I'm in there. I'm barely in Target, really. Barely in Target because of what's going on, right? But I got to give a shout out to Walmart because they delivered. And like a lot of YouTubers, big YouTubers who did their unboxings and did their review of their Switch 2, it seems like everybody got their Switch 2s if you ordered from Walmart around 7:30 in the morning, right? Peculiar. I'm glad. So I'm hopping up. And the thing is, what I did is I had the Switch since it was my personal that I'm going to take home. I had it delivered to my house first, and then I brought it to the studio here in Atlanta, right? That's how I did it. So I'm hopping out of bed. I'm checking my phone, and Walmart's email. Because when you order, I get it from I get an email from Walmart. I get an email and I get a text message saying either it's being on this way or it's been delivered. That's how, and I do that with any package. If it's Amazon, I get in a text message updates. Best Buy, if I have to order from Best Buy, text message. When I order from Rogue, I get text message and email. So I'm checking my phone. The first notification I saw was Walmart. It was a text. Walmart, your package has been delivered. I'm like, and this is 7:30 in the morning. I'm like, oh wow, really? So I'm checking the text. I'm checking my email. It says the same thing. So I go to my front door. It's there, sitting waiting for me, and it was just delivered about 10 minutes ago. So I picked it up. They wrapped it up really nice, and if I felt some liquid in there too. And to my surprise, so Walmart had this promotion going on that I didn't know about because after I unboxed it, because I thought it was they had a can of Pringles and a bottle of Coca-Cola in the bag along with my Switch 2. I thought the Walmart delivery, because what was cool about Walmart is they actually had people who didn't work for UPS or FedEx. It was like self-delivery, right? Like an Uber delivery. So they actually had people just delivering people's consoles, which I think that was pretty cool. It can become a little scary sometimes because you got to be careful with some people. People might make off with your item. And my big brother, he saw the unboxing video and he got nervous for me too, because it's like you feeling something weird in there, like, oh, they might have jibbed you. And in the unboxing video, it was the can of Pringles, the Coca-Cola, and then I saw the Switch 2 box. So I knew I didn't get jibbed. I knew my console didn't get stolen. It's there. I was just very, very unique. And what I thought too, I thought they might have delivered my console, my stuff, along with somebody else's order. And then in my mind, I was like, who is ordering Pringles and Coca-Cola at 7:30 in the morning? That is a very unhealthy diet. Turns out, after that, and doing my research, and every other YouTuber who did their unboxing and who talked about it, Walmart had a promotion for us gamers to say, hey, to enjoy your new console, here's a can of Pringles and a bottle of soda, right? Cool touch. I did it. I did eat the Pringles. I did. We had a Mario Kart session the other night and I ate it, right? The Coca-Cola is still in my refrigerator at home. I do drink soda. I just don't drink it as much as I used to because obviously you guys noticed the gang here. I'm trying to swole up. I'm trying to get more healthy with my diet. So I didn't really drink so much of the Coca-Cola. The most thing I'm drinking is water, right? And long and behold, Switch 2, we did the unboxing here in the studio early in the morning. You guys can go check that video out. If you want to see that unboxing experience, go check my last week's podcast out because I won't talk about the unboxing. You can go watch it. But the full review of the Switch 2, let me tell you guys, this thing is really, really fun to play. It looks sexy. I don't care what people think about that design. People don't like the design, the black design of the Switch 2. I think it looks sexy. I think it looks beautiful. The Joy-Cons are bigger because if you guys know, I have fat, stubby hands. So imagine the OLED Switch, me crinkling up my hands to play this console. Now I can feel very comfortable in my hands with the Switch 2. The very first thing I played, obviously, was Mario Kart World. Like I said at the beginning, even though it sucks that it cost $80 for that game, again, I paid $50. It's really good. It's really good. It's fast paced. I do like the open world concept of it. My favorite thing to play on Mario Kart World so far is the Knockout Tour. I had such a blast with the Knockout Tour. Now, if you guys don't know, you're going from place to place to place to be in the top first or top 3 people, right? And it's continuous, so it doesn't stop. It's like a big, gigantic race. I think I enjoyed the Knockout Tour the most. I played it with friends online. I played it by myself. I really, really enjoy Mario Kart World. I think it's really, really fantastic. I think it might be worth the purchase if you want like a nice, relaxed racing type game. I do say Mario Kart World is fun to play with friends. I will say that. because you'll have friends to play with, and it'll be a great time. Of course, obviously, I played with my little brother. I played with our friends, and it was a great time to say the least. So I enjoy playing Mario Kart World, the open world concept, and even if free roam, I actually do like free roam. A lot of people did say that it's empty, that there's not really much to do. I beg to differ on that. If you just need a moment to relax your mind, then it's really good, and you could just go and explore. Now, if you want something to do, by all means, do the knockout tour, because I think you might enjoy that the most. I do hope with Mario Kart Worlds, I do hope, and I think they're going to do this, but I do hope they incorporate a 200cc so it'll be more challenging. I do see a lot of expansions coming from this game, because this game is now the next Mario Kart that's going to last us the next 10 years, right? This is it. So I'm sure they're going to add more to the island for you to explore, more out towards, because you got the base island with everything, and then on the sides is like water. They're going to add on content towards that end. I know that's coming. It has to come. It may not come this year. It may not even come next year, but eventually they're going to add expansions to Mario Kart Worlds. I can tell. I do like the variation of characters. I will say that. I do like the different outfits that the characters get to wear. I really enjoy that. I think that's a really good idea, because now you have more outfits. I really like it to where we're not customizing our carts. A lot of people miss that feature. I don't think I miss that feature that much, because I like the standard cart for it all to look the same, right? I'm very organized. I have OTC. What's it called? ODC, OCD. There it is. I do have OCD, so I like things to be particular. So I do like that concept. It is, the worlds are beautiful, 4K resolution, 120 frames per second for Switch 2. So it is overall, y'all. It is a very beautiful game. I gotta say, it might be worth the $80. It might be. And if you're on a budget, and I say this to a lot of people, you don't want to pay $80 for a video game, then don't. You're not hurting anybody's feelings. You're damn sure not hurting Nintendo's feelings, because Nintendo will make money from this game, regardless if you, particular person who don't want to spend $80 on a video game, somebody will. Nintendo doesn't care. The same thing with the Switch 2, where people say, I'm not buying the Switch 2 because it's a ripoff, it's too much, it's so expensive. Okay, well, don't, because Nintendo's still going to make their money regardless. Right? I read the story that they sold 2 million copies in 24 hours. They don't care. But besides that rant, the Nintendo Switch 2 is really good. Now, I do notice the Switch 2, and I think it's normal, it does get warm, right? So that's why I'm kind of glad they incorporated a bigger fan in the console and in the dock itself, because it does get warm. I've noticed that it got warm on some certain parts. I think it does get warm on games that require more of a performance, so that way that fan is just spinning, right? So I played that. I didn't play World Welcome Tour. I'm not going to pay $10 for an instruction manual. I'm sorry. I'm just not going to do it. I did purchase another game, and that was Yakuza 0 Director's Cut. Let me tell you why. I'm a big Yakuza fan. I really love all the Yakuza games, right? I think my favorite one besides 0 is Judgment Day. I do love Judgment Day because it's just the story's there. I bought that game because I wanted to know the frames per second mode on it. I wanted to know the English voice acting, right? Because if you purchase that game for Switch, the Director's Cut, it does come with fully English voice actors. Matthew Mercer is the top dog in that. Matthew Mercer is a fantastic voice actor. He's been in a crazy amount of great stuff, right? So I really do love it that this game, they incorporated a all English mode, so that way I'm not so much reading what the characters are saying. I can just hear it, relax, and enjoy. This is one thing when it comes down to anime too. I like English dub because I can listen and just enjoy. Like, I can read, and I'll say that first and foremost. I can read, but to sit there and read and then go really fast and you're trying to understand, you're trying to watch the animation, I don't like doing that. That's too much work. Hearing what the characters are saying in English, and that obviously I understand, is such a fantastic time. This game looks beautiful, by the way. It looks redone. The frame rates is there. The fighting mechanic is there. The traveling is there. Everything that because we played Yakuza 0 before, y'all, it's there, right? So I really enjoy that. Again, I think that game is going to last me a while, right? And I wanted to purchase that game too because I wanted something else to play other than Mario Kart Worlds, because that is the game obviously that everybody is playing right now. But I want to diversify. I think the only thing that's missing with the Switch 2 is just games, right? I'm not talking about the games for upgrades. I already played those games. I'm ready for the new stuff, right? We just got announced today that Splatoon's getting a new game called Splatoon Raiders, which I might pick up because it actually does look fun. And that will actually be my first Splatoon game. I've never played a Splatoon game. I just never came around to getting it. Donkey Kong comes out next month. So I'm ready for that. I'm just ready. Mario Kart's great. It's awesome. But I'm ready for my platformers. I'm ready for more, right? And as a crave gaming fan, I just crave more. And we just have to wait. We have to wait for Donkey Kong next month. Splatoon might be August, September. And then Metroid Prime 4. They already got my pre-order because I'm a Metroid guy. And I love Metroid Prime 4. The first person shooter on Nintendo Switch 2. Yeah, I'm sold. Right? But like I say, in and all, this Switch is very, very good. The eShop is faster. It's better, right? It was atrocious on the Switch 1, right? It was atrocious. It was slow loading time. It was faster on Switch 2. I'm able to navigate faster. I played Smash on Switch 2, and it's fast. It's like you select your character. Okay, bam, go. It is fast. This console is fast. I got to say, I probably won't go around to getting the Cyberpunk game on Switch 2 because I have Cyberpunk on PlayStation 5. I don't think I want to fork out $60, $70 for something I already played. That's why with the upgrades, unless it's not free, I don't think I'm going to come around to it. I did play both Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, both great games, but I don't think I want to spend more money for an upgrade for a game I already played, beat. I'm ready for the new stuff, is my opinion. Very, very good. I do think, though, and maybe this can change with updates, the reaction between Joy-Cons to the system, if you're on dock mode, I don't want to say it's slow, but there is just like a millisecond delay, right? From my TV, and my TV at home, I have a 4K TV, right? So it supports all of the requirements that the Switch 2 needs, but it's like a hair off, in my opinion, right? When I played it in handheld mode, it's obviously it's quick. It's like you press the button, it's there. So I think I'll be playing my Switch 2 more in handheld mode because of that, because it's a little eerie. It's not to the point where it's a bad sell. Obviously, it is not, but it's just things as a gamer I noticed. And maybe it's an update that I need to do with the Joy-Cons, but I've noticed these things, right? I did fork in and cave in and got a Pro Controller. I got the Pro Controller a day later. I didn't pre-order the Pro Controller. I'm glad I got one because obviously I have brothers and sisters that's going to come over to the house and want to play Switch 2 and play Mario Kart. We're going to need some more controllers. So I did fork over the $85 for this Pro Controller. I ended up going to GameStop. I barely go to GameStop, but I ended up going to GameStop to get a Pro Controller. And I'm glad I did because the Pro Controller looks amazing. I have no regrets for not getting the getting the Pro Controller because I actually did enjoy the Pro Controller for sure. So all in all, it was really, really good, guys. Let me tell you, I do think the Switch 2 will sell out. So if you have a chance and you have the money, and it's expensive, I'm going to tell you, gaming is a luxury now. Gaming is not a requirement. It is a luxury. So if you have the funds for you to purchase a Switch 2, by all means, because you're not going to regret it. I think, and it's valid reasons why people are waiting until more games come out to get the Switch 2. It's valid. Do I think, and I'll say this and I'll wrap because we got more stuff to talk about here on the podcast, but do I think Switch 2 is going to sell out? It's going to be harder for people to get one? Yes. Tariffs, even though tariffs were delayed, that doesn't mean we're canceling the tariffs, right? Tariffs are coming, right? And I hate to be political on the show, on this part of the show, but tariffs are coming. So I say, if you're thinking about getting a Switch 2 for $500, get it now, because we don't know if it's going to be $800. We don't know if it's going to be $1,000 when them tariffs hit. So Switch 2, shout out to y'all. Okay, so I know I talked 40 minutes about Switch 2, but hey, we this is a beefy podcast today. We got to talk about what's coming up next, guys. Of course, WWE Raw. You guys know how I do it. I do it on the K.L.P. Aftermath podcast. Obviously, if you guys missed out, check out the Bro Code podcast. It's me, Terry, and Jackson. I talked about Money in the Bank and SmackDown on Saturday's episode. I think it was Saturday's episode. So go check it out if you guys want to know my thoughts about SmackDown and Money in the Bank, because today I'm only talking about WWE Monday Night Raw. That was last night. They were in Phoenix, Arizona this last night. We had the return of Nikki Bella. It's good to see Nikki Bella back into it. I might be skipping around here, guys. I don't really like the fact that she came back and Liv Morgan just beat the living crap out of her. That kind of stings a little bit. I think now they're starting the story between Nikki Bella versus Liv Morgan. I think they should. Nikki Bella coming back and getting her ass kicked is funny. I thought this at one moment, but then I kind of understand it because Brie Bella did say that she's done. Right? They did say that she's done. She's married. She had a kid with Daniel Bryan. I don't care if his name is Bryan Danielson. I'm calling him Daniel Bryan because I know him more as Daniel Bryan. WWE, obviously, he's with another company, AEW. But she had a kid. Things have changed, right? It's not the same anymore. Very, very good. That segment was kind of cool because, of course, Liv Morgan bring out you're just going to be a reality star diva. Let me tell you, if you work for WWE and you say the word diva, if it's not in your programming, if it's not in your segment, you just freely say it, you might get fired, right? Because they're trying to eliminate the diva division and call these ladies women superstars, right? So you got to be careful. But like I say, it's good to see Nikki Bella back into the theme of things. I bet it has to be interesting because obviously Nikki Bella did date John Cena. They were both in the same building at the same time last night. So that's quite funny to see. Of course, you had both King and Women's King and Queen of the Ring tournaments. Fatal 4-Way. It was Penta versus Sami Zayn versus Dominic Mysterio versus Braun Breaker. And I'm kind of skipping around here too, because I don't want this podcast to be too long. But it's good to see Sami Zayn. He won the first round of the King of the Ring. I'm rooting for Sami Zayn. I think it's time for him to come back into the limelight of things. Even though I'm a big fan of Penta, I've said this at Money in the Bank. Broco podcast when I saw Money in the Bank. I am really impressed with Dominic Mysterio. I am. I know it is a little bit interesting because when he first came out, we didn't know what he would do or what he would look like, how well he would look as champion. But I'm starting to grow more on Dominic Mysterio as a superstar. I think he's starting to become that elite superstar that we want. Braun Breaker is from Atlanta. Bona fide badass. Didn't quite come up on top for this match, but I'm a big Braun Breaker fan, obviously because he's from Atlanta. So I got to rep anybody that's from Atlanta in particular. And then while Sami Zayn has won that match, of course, Sami Zayn does have a run-in with Karrion Kross. I think Sami Zayn might peek out that monster that we need to see from Sami Zayn. And I'm really, really, really excited by that. And speaking of monsters coming out, did y'all see what Truth did? R-Truth? Ron Killings. Let me tell you, I got to say it because I've said it that he was the gimmick, the spoof for years. I think I am going to enjoy this new R-Truth. I think so. Ron Killings. This man don't cut them dreads. He looked crazy last night, right? Because he cut the dreads off and his hair looked crazy. It looked crazy. I think now he's starting to peak into that superstar. He's peaking into that monster form. I love it. I'm here for it. People ain't gonna like it. It's time for him to get done with the gimmicks, right? Because I do see him being champion. Because I've said this in Bro Code podcast, and audience. Ron Killings is getting older. And not just no disrespect on his age, but R-Truth is getting older, right? Eventually, he's going to have to retire. He's going to have to, right? Because as he's getting older, he can't do certain moves. So now let's turn him into the monster and see how far that go. And that's going to be good. I wouldn't be surprised if R-Truth might be the person that take John Cena down. I wouldn't really be surprised now if WWE turns him to a way that we think he's going to be turned into. Metro Boomin, shout out to Metro Boomin, famous artist, producer, Metro Boomin, right? We all know Metro Boomin. He tweeted and say, "Hey, WWE, R-Truth is now the serious guy. Let me make his theme music. WWE, if you're somehow watching this podcast, if you guys were smart in this marketing aspect, because you give rappers and producers their limelight at WWE, let Metro Boomin make his theme song." Right? If you were smart, WWE, and there's no shit talking WWE because I love WWE, but if you are smart in this marketing game, have Metro Boomin do R-Truth's new theme song. It's just business. It's so smart. It's such a good idea. But like I say, I'm not the executive of WWE, so I can't really say too much about that. But I think that's a smart move. Metro Boomin, he's willing. And honestly, I think Metro Boomin, I'm sure they're going to pay him, but I'm sure Metro Boomin wouldn't really mind doing this for free. Metro Boomin got millions in the bank, right? He wouldn't mind doing this free as long as he get that publicity out there. That, hey, I'm producing WWE Superstars theme music, right? I think a lot of producers, Timbaland should produce a WWE theme song. I think that would be dope. Like I said, I do like it the way this new R-Truth, I do like the way it's going. Queen of the Ring, you got the Fatal 4-Way, Rhea Ripley, Kairi Sane, Liv Morgan, and Roxanne Perez. Roxanne Perez does come out on top for the tournament round one. Very, very excited for Roxanne Perez. I'm always a Roxanne Perez. I think she's beautiful. I think she's cute. If I had a girlfriend that looked just like Roxanne Perez, I would never want to leave her. So very, very cool to come up on top. Kairi Sane's giving us something. Rhea Ripley, mommy didn't come up on top on this one. She didn't. And that's okay. It's okay. Very, very good match to say the least. I enjoyed that match as well. And the main event here, of course, they did announce again about WrestleMania coming back to Vegas. I already gave my 2 cents on that on the Broco podcast. I just don't know about it. I don't know about it. I don't know. Maybe it might be better than this previous year, maybe, but I don't know. And then the main event matchup was Jey Uso versus Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship. That was a battle. It is quite sad to see Jey Uso's run is over. Gunther wins the championship last night. That's interesting. It's very interesting because Jey Uso, he wasn't champion for that long. And I get it. Maybe they're giving him a second break, right? Because he's been champion since WrestleMania. He's been booking everything since WrestleMania, right? He's been in everything, right? So maybe Jey Uso's tired, right? And he has a son. His son was there cheering him on as well. Great matchup. This one was brutal. There was a lot of the lock-in headlock for both Jey Uso and Gunther. I thought Gunther was going to tap again, but I think everybody was surprised that Gunther came up on top and won the championship matchup. Very, very cool to see. We'll see how far Gunther has this championship matchup for sure. It's very, very interesting to say the least. And I meant to say at the beginning of the show too, it will be Cena versus Punk one final time at Night of Champions for the championship. Obviously, I don't see CM Punk coming out of this because, again, it's the whole tour, right? It's a whole thing there. It would be great if CM Punk won because I'm more of a CM Punk fan than I am a John Cena fan. But I don't see CM Punk taking this one. I don't. It has to be a whole nother story. Honestly, the person that's going to take Cena down will be Truth. It's going to be R-Truth. His new thing. His Ron Killens, the dangerous side of R-Truth now, is going to be Truth that takes down John Cena. I feel it. And I'm willing to bet money on it. But to see that, and Phoenix, Arizona thought they were going to get a match tonight. That would have been cool. But nope. They're going to get it Night of Champions in Saudi Arabia. Which is cool. Again, people were upset. But hey, they got to sell the show in Saudi Arabia. You got to sell Night of Champions, right? Big pay-per-view. So I understand the concept behind that. Like I say, Raw was pretty good for last night. It was really, really, really good. I am very, very stoked for this. Of course, you had AJ Styles and Gable come out on the ring. If you guys hear that, it's raining outside. It's been raining the last few days. So you might hear that in the microphone. But Becky Lynch promo, again, not a fan. Even though we got Bayley came back last night as well. That was really, really good to see Bayley again. It's going to be Bayley versus Becky, obviously, because of what happened Bailey was attacked by Becky Lynch, so of course, and that was pretty much it within the within Monday Night Raw that I've had the keynotes for. Of course, we've had it to where there's a lot of things coming out for sure when it comes down to Monday Night Raw. Overall, it was a great show. Bleacher Report gives the show an A. It was a good show. It was a good show last night. I thoroughly enjoyed Raw last night. So very, very, very good. So real quick before we talk about this as the main event, part of the main event here today, let's talk about it. So I was able to catch Straw. And let me tell you, Straw, Tyler Perry's latest movie, it's good. It's good. I am a huge fan of Taraji P. Henson. Taraji P. Henson is no stranger while working with Mr. Tyler Perry. Obviously, Taraji P. Henson worked with Tyler Perry in this movie called I Can Do Bad All By Myself, the movie. Tiana Taylor is no stranger with working with Tyler Perry. Obviously, she was Bow Wow's baby mama in Medea's Happy Family, right? So it's really cool to see. Oh, and Taraji P. Henson, I forgot. She did Acrimony, and that was a Tyler Perry movie. So I forgot she did 2 movies with Tyler Perry. Now this is the 3rd movie she did with Tyler Perry. That chemistry is there. Now, Straw is a psychological thriller directed by Tyler Perry, starring Taraji P. Henson, premiered on Netflix June 6th. The film follows the single mother, Janaya, as she struggles with a series of increasingly difficult events, ultimately leading her to take desperate measures. The story explores themes of survival, desperation, and the pressures faced by women in the challenging world. I'm going to try to give you the ins and out. I don't want to spoil this movie because it's thoroughly new. So, Janaya, she has a daughter. And the daughter is very sick, right? She has seizures. She has just childlike things that happen to her. And Janaya is struggling to make ends meet. She is struggling to take care of her daughter, right? At the beginning of the movie, she was struggling. And she's facing all of these different things. She works at a supermarket to where her general manager, he's the Strickler manager. You know, she was late. She had to go check in with her kid. You know, he wasn't having that because he was like, hey, you ain't worked, so we're going to have to let you go. Then she goes to the bank. And mind you, she lived in an apartment. She got evicted, and let me tell you, and hopefully Shell Purcell, if she's watching this show, hopefully I give her flowers. Shell Purcell is in this movie. She's a good friend of ours. I've worked with her with quite a few of her projects as well. She plays this girl, this woman named Gloria. She is like the landlord of the apartment. She is evil in this movie, so shout out to you, Shell, family friend of mine. So it feels good when you know somebody as a family friend. You know them and you see them in a movie. It's like, hey, I know you. So really, really cool to see that. But Janaya gets evicted from her apartment and all her things gets put out in the soaking rain. It was raining. So Janaya, you can tell this is old school. Janaya gets her check and she has to deposit that check to get cash out. Mind you, and I say to a lot of people, when you get paid from a job, it's always good to get direct deposit because you don't have to do all of that. But, you know, some people still wait for that check to come in and you have to go cash the check at a bank. Then you got to pay the fees on it. And I say to a lot of people, if you work a job, I think 90% of the world now, they work a job to get direct deposit because it's just easier for your bank account. Just easier way to deposit your money. But old school tradition, I guess, in the story, hey, I need to go to deposit a check. Even when it comes down to our clientele here at K.L.P. Entertainment, I always prefer direct deposit because it's just easier for us. And then you had Sherry Shepherd in this movie. Sherry Shepherd, she plays the bank manager. Janaya goes in there. She's having a shitty day, right? She, without spoiling anything, she does murder her boss because her boss was giving her all of it. And then there was a mugging. Somebody mugged the store with them two in the back in the office. And then they came in and said, hey, give me the money. And then Janaya takes the gun and shoots the guy that was robbing. And then the manager said, hey, no, you planned this robbery. Oh, you about to go to jail. And then she, pang, pang, pow, pow. Manager's dead. While having that, she has a run-in with a crooked cop who could have been racist, right? She did gyp the guy, hit the car of that police officer, but the police officer threatens her to throw her in jail legally. So, of course, that's adversity. You know, we have to deal with that in the real world where there are some cricket cops out here as the rain comes down. There are some cricket cops out here in this world that will mess with us, right? So that happens in everyday life. So, feared for her life from a cop, her daughter being sick and not having enough money to eat at school because she's struggling to make ends meet. She couldn't deposit a check at first, but now she was able to. She says, "Hey, I'm crazy. Here's a gun. Deposit my money." And then it turns into a whole bank robbery type of movie where Taraji P. Henson's holding people hostage, and that's where the character Tiana Taylor comes in, the officer. Let me tell you, Tiana Taylor as a cop, ooh-wee. She can arrest me any day. I love Tiana Taylor. I love her music. I love her dancing. I love her acting. I love everything about her. I think I'm on her late husband. Now they're divorced. I'm on. You a fool for divorcing her. Y'all, you a fool for losing her. She's nice. And just to see Tiana Taylor plays her role really carefully. She's the cop, but she's relating to Janiyah Taraji P. Henson's character because she's also a black woman, right? So she's trying to relate to both her and Taraji P. Henson's character. So very, very good movie. I do not want to spoil too much of it. There is a huge twist at the ending of this movie that Janiyah may or may not have been hallucinating all of this. I'll leave it there. I don't want to spoil it too much for everybody who is looking to watch Straw. And I'm sorry if I spoiled it. I don't think I spoiled a whole lot, but Straw is a good one. I got to say, before we wrap the podcast, because we got to get everybody home from the studio because it's storming out. I like when Tyler Perry does movies like this. I've said it before. I'll say it again. I'm not so much big fans of the Madea movies, even though, yes, I still watch them, right? Medea's Destination Wedding, obviously I'm going to watch and review it for the podcast in July. I love it when Tyler Perry make movies like this. Straw, A Jazzman's Blues, I think that's still the number one favorite. 688 is another favorite of mine. Movies like that, I'm here for it when Tyler Perry makes. The Madea movies, The shows, except for one, Beauty and Black, that's actually not bad of a show. But all the other movies, okay, I get it. Hollywood, you got to make a sale. I get it. But when you crack down and make a movie like this, it's worth watching. So shout out to Tyler Perry. Shout out to Taraji P. Henson. Shout out to Tiana Taylor and Sherry Shepard. Shout out to my girl, Cheryl Purcell, who played Gloria. Y'all got it. So, in the next episode, I am going to review Ginny and Georgia. I was going to talk about that show here on this show, but I haven't finished the season. I want to finish the season first before I give you guys my intake for this as well. So I will leave the podcast with the main event that you guys, that I said at the beginning of the podcast that I was going to talk about. The title of this podcast is hey guys, we need to talk. Like I say, it's nothing personal. Well, it's personal to me, but I do say, we're not quitting podcasting. We're not quitting YouTube. That's not this type of conversation. No, we'll be here for a very long time. My family's healthy, right? So it's not, a sickness in the family. There's not a death in the family. There's nothing like that by the grace of God, right? Boy, it's thundering here. But I do want to talk about this topic of conversation because this is something that I've been feeling. And sometimes I don't like to get too personal, but for this topic, I can get a little personal, right? I think I am on the idea. Again, if you guys want to log off this podcast, by all means, because I'm about to get a little soapy here. I'm not going to cry, but I'm going to get a little soapy. This is just in my feelings. And it has something to do with relationships. So boyfriend, girlfriend problems, right? So if you don't want to hear me yak about that again, you're free to leave the podcast, right? But I'm on the concerned feeling that I think I'm just not built for a relationship. I feel as if I'm not built for it, but I'm okay to not have it. Right? The last few months, even to the last year, I've tried to build relationships for people that I had crushes on, that I liked, and it never seems to go my way. Right? And I think as a kid, I got told that you're supposed to be the chaser. And I see it on TikTok a lot, and I see it on media a lot, mostly on TikTok the most because that's where I watch it. But a lot of people, a lot of ladies, they have these conversations on TikTok. They say the videos on TikTok that say that men are just not interested in dating anymore because they prefer their peace, their happiness, and so on and so forth, right? That's true. I made a whole music album about this thing. Soft Guy Season has something to do with me being in the soft guy era. And for all of you guys who don't know what soft guy area is, it is us guys who are not committed for a relationship and we just prefer our peace and happiness and we're okay to be single, right? And a part of that meaning is, so I won't say all women because all women are not the same. Some women prefer a very, very high expectation and standard that us guys can't provide. And I'm starting to see more women like that in my circle now. That's why I haven't struck out good when it comes down to finding a relationship. All right. I had one girl before that we used to work together and we would text and I would get ghosted and I would ask about going out to eat and trying to figure things out and I would get ghosted and not really responding to text. Let me tell you something. That's the number one thing I don't like from trying to find a girlfriend is like I don't like to be ghosted. Right? If I text you, it doesn't mean you got to text me 2 seconds later. I get it. You're busy. You're working. You got things going on. I get it. But for me to wait a week and a half for a response of a simple question that I ask, I don't have time for that. So then I ghost her back. And then obviously we're no longer talking. I don't even think well, obviously we're not friends anymore. Right? Because you ghosted me for a week and then I ghosted you for a week. And now that woman got mad because I ghosted her because you ghosted me first. And she said I was going to petty games and she ain't got time. She's too old for that. I was like, well, honey, I'm too old for this too. I don't think you're going to work. Fine. You want to be by yourself. You want to be Dusty Crusty Musty. You go do that. I'm not him. I'm the wrong person to do that with. And after that, I've met women who we would text. It's quiet. We'll text again. All we do is talk about work. We talked about one show. That was a great conversation, but it was boring. Took her out to eat. We talked a lot. I say, oh, okay, when can we have our next date? That never's going to happen. So you mean to tell me that I'm able to take somebody out, spend $100 on dinner, and I don't get a kickback from it? And a lot of women say, why do men want guys to like take us out and then they want something other? Well, because now it's an investment. I'm on the mindset that I don't want to go out on a date to where I have to spend $100 each date and I don't get nothing in return. Sorry, ladies, but I'm that type of dude, right? And I'm not saying, hey, I want to have sex because I bought you dinner. That's not what I'm saying. I want a second date. When can I see you again? Let's talk about stuff outside of work. One girl, I invited her to the gym. I said, hey, the gym is a big part of me. And if you ain't about health and if you ain't about going to the gym, you're not going to be for me. And I'm not saying you need to go to the gym and be a bodybuilder and do intense workout. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying if you just don't like going to the gym at all, or you don't care about your health, you're not going to be the one for me because health and me losing weight is a big deal for me. That is just who I am now. I'm not going to change that from nobody, right? I've been going to the gym and I've been sleeping well. I've been eating well. I've been exercising well. I've been healthy since going to the gym. So I'm not going to change that. So I say all that to say, I'm just a firm believer that this generation of dating, and I've said it so many times, I know a lot of people say it, I'm going to say it again, guys. This generation of dating sucks. And I guess I'm just tired. I'm tired of trying. I'm tired of trying to fill somebody out and trying to be friends so that way it can become something more. And it goes nowhere. I am tired of picking up the check every time I take a girl out. And then ladies, some ladies will say this, I'm sorry. Ladies also say, guys, why men so sassy? We are not sassy. We just care about our feelings. We care about our feelings. We care about our heart, and we wear our hearts on our sleeve, and we love hard, but when we get our feelings hurt, it hurts us the most. Now, as you guys know, I was born on May 12th, so I'm a Taurus. Taurus, we love hard, but we're stubborn too. And it drives me nuts. We're tired of being used as a free meal ticket. We're tired of being the nice people, and we get nothing in return. I might even say, and I'm not joking about sexuality, but I might just is it asexual that I am, that I just don't like anybody right now? In that manner, I don't know if that's the right word or not, but like I just don't see a benefit of it anymore. Right? I see a lot of not my close friend circle, but a lot of my friends who be boyfriend and girlfriend and they break up. Right? Couples that I know who were engaged to be married, but no longer engaged to be married, they broke up. So it's like, if y'all broke up, there's no hope for anything. Right? I will say this, and I'm saying this carefully, right? Because I don't want to disrespect my sister, because she's young, right? And it's not to say for her and my buddy Jay, because they got married, they're happily married, but I'm excluding them for the conversation because they're mature, right? But younger marriage doesn't work. If you're like 19 or 20, 21, getting married, it's not going to work. 3 years, I give you 3 years max. You break it off because you don't know each other yet, right? But if you're in your late 30s, early 40s, you're getting married, maybe that's different. I see it. I see a lot of my friends who are young, who are boyfriend and girlfriend. And then I see a lot of people out there on social media with their girl. And I'm speaking from my experience for the girls that I follow on Instagram and their boyfriends. They post their boyfriends and how much they're in love. And it's like, are you really that much in love? Because if you are, congratulations. I'm a little jealous of that because I wish I had that kind of love if you're really that happy. But are you just fronting for the gram? Because anybody do anything for the gram. We front for the gram sometimes. Even I front for the gram sometimes. I ain't ashamed to say it. So I wonder, are you tremendously happy in your relationship that I see it on your Instagram, maybe your story, maybe your Snapchat? Because I see it on Snapchat too. I see it on TikTok. Me and Bay going at the cool, but are you really happy? Like I say, if you are, by all means, be happy. I applaud that. But then you really don't know what's really going on behind the curtain because they're not going to exploit what's going on behind the curtain, right? I will say this. Sometimes girls see it. Some girls will see something else that might be green on the other side. They might peep over there just a little bit just to see. But back to my train of thought. I've came to that conclusion that I don't think I am built for a relationship. And it could be that I'm not built for it right now, right? I'm only 29, so I'm super young, but I just don't think I'm just not built for the relationship. I'm not built for trying to find somebody just to make it work, right? And I don't know. Maybe it's me being more focused on my schoolwork. Obviously, if you guys know, you know, I'm in school to be a doctor, right? I'm studying for my doctorate degree. I've got movies coming out. I got music coming out. I'm working on some stuff. Maybe I'm just tremendously too busy for it. And I just don't have time to squeeze that in. Because let me tell you, one girl that I was talking to previously, it seemed to me, it seems like a lot of work. Right? My sister was telling me, shout out to DM because she gives me some great advice. She was telling me, yeah, you got to chase her. Oh, you got to see what she's up to. That's a lot of work. Why do we got to do, why do the men have to do all the work? Right? Why can't the other partner do some work? Give us some relievement. It's tiring. I'm tired of trying to text people to see how they feel. Not my friends, because I text my friends all the time. I love them. But like a girl that I'm trying to pursue, I'm tired. It's exhausting. It is fucking exhausting. It is so fucking exhausting to constantly text, to constantly feel what her feelings are, and to gauge if she wants to go out to eat, or to gauge if she wants to join me at the gym, or to see what she wants to do. It's fucking exhausting that I've got to spend $100 every date night to get nothing in return. Not even a kiss, right? I'm that kind of dude. I want a kiss. If I'm going to pay $100 and I've known you for a while, baby, how long are you going to keep using me as a free meal ticket? When we going to kiss? Give me a little squeeze or something. I'll even go as far. And then this part, I'm just joking, guys. I'm just being funny. Give me a BJ. Give me a nice little whoo-hoo. I mean, give me something. That's just my feelings. It is exhausting. And I thought it'd be funny to talk about it here on the podcast. Like I say, to all the couples, if you are deeply in love, congratulations. I don't mean to say this to discourage people. It's just something that I've been feeling the last few weeks down to the last year. And it's so exhausting. And I just think I am just in the best light of myself because, you know, I'm in the gym. I'm focusing on my career. I'm focusing on my health. And that's why people on TikTok, they say men don't want to date anymore because they're so focused on themselves right now. And that's so true. We're just exhausted at this point in this generation, right? Now, if I was in the last generation, that would have been different. If I was a boomer, that definitely would have been different. Because I get a lot of people ask me that too. Like a lot of family, hey, did she text you back yet? When you gonna have the next date? I am not talking to her no more. We won't have a second date. It's done. Right? Because I'm exhausted. I'm done being the chaser. Honey, you're gonna have to chase me. Or at least meet me halfway, because I am tired of running and chasing. I get a lot of people ask me that, and it's just like, yeah. And then I get a lot of things from my mom. Shout out to my mom, but she says, hey, when you gonna go on the next date? Oh, she's cute. We went to a new gym. Shout out to Liv. I meant to do a review on Liv at Atlanta. I'll do that next week because this podcast is already long. But Liv is a church in Atlanta that we went to. My sister, congratulations to her. She got baptized. And let me tell you, that church is amazing. First and foremost, a lot of cute honeys in there, though. A lot of cute girls at that church. But it's just like, my sister was like, yeah, there's a lot of cute girls in there, huh, Lucas? I'm like, yeah, but I'm not checking for them. I'm tired. I'm done. It's not going to go anywhere. If I introduce myself to yeah, hi and bye. That's it. It's just the generation that we're in right now. Girls ain't looking to date like that no more. I'll say some girls ain't looking to date like that no more. Some girls, I would say, because I met those girls, what can you do for me? What have you done for me lately? Can you take me to the roof, Chris? Can you buy me? Nah, I'm good. I'm good. I'm tired. I'm good. I'm good with just being myself and having my thing. Right? Maybe I just need a dog. Right? That might be the other thing I might need. Right? Maybe I just need a pup, a best friend that I can play with every day. Right? I don't know. Like I say, guys, that's what we need to talk about. Hopefully this was very engaging. Again, like I said, I don't mean to discourage people. It's just what I've been feeling. And I think I have a right to my feelings. Guys out there, if you have feelings and emotion, don't think you're sassy. I tell people I have feelings. I have emotion, right? I as a man, you can have that. As a woman, you can have that. If you identify as they, them, they, you can have feelings and emotion. Human beings can have feelings and emotion. It does not make you weak. And I'm speaking from a man's point of view. It doesn't make you weak as a man to have feelings. It don't. And gentlemen, if that girl doesn't value you and she calls you weak because you have feelings, that probably is not the right one for you. You probably need to cut that bitch off. Right? Because whoever my girlfriend is, hell, I might even be asexual. I don't know. Whoever that girlfriend is in my world, in my generation, in my world that I haven't met yet, because I know God is planning the perfect one for me, you got to understand that I have feelings and emotions and thoughts. I cry. Not as much as I used to, but I cry, right? I have feelings. And women, women say, it's an ick when you cry. Oh, that gives me the ick. You know what gives me the ick? A lot of things from women that gives me the ick, but I don't complain about it. Right? And shout out to my ladies. Like I say, love my ladies. I love my women, but hey, that's just my piece. That's what's been going on. That's what I've been talking about. That's what I was thinking about. So we're gonna wrap this podcast here today. We guys gave you over an hour. Congratulations. Y'all get a beefy podcast this week. Stay tuned. We got more podcasting tomorrow. Bro Code Podcast will be back. And obviously we're going to be kind of shutting it down for the weekend because I will be in Atlanta. Well, right here downtown, but in Battle of Atlanta World Karate Championship. So that's going to be very fun to see. Guys, please check out our shows on all of our platforms, wherever you get your podcasts from. That's going to wrap it up here on K.L.P Studios here. My producer, Terry. We'll see y'all on the Bro Code Podcast tomorrow. This has been the K.L.P Aftermath Podcast with your host, K.L.P Kennedy Lucas, saying so long, stay safe. We'll catch y'all in the next episode. Peace.
Go! What's going on in Hot Atlanta? Live from Swanky 93.3 and the Heat 94.6. Brings back the hottest hip-hop radio show live from K.L.P Entertainment and K.L.P Studios. Go! It's K.L.P Aftermath. Morning with your host, K.L.P Kennedy Lucas.
You know what it is? Put your hands up.
Tune in now on any audio platform.
Go.